welcome to the link edition for this week, and we continue to follow our promise to give you information you can use plus opportunities. Tonight we're discussing information you can use still to do with your money, and we're discussing the element of Financial Intelligence Authority, FIA. You might have heard of them. Tonight we have the new Executive Director for the FIA, Mr. Samuel Wandera, to speak to us about issues concerning your money and money laundering. Mr. Wandera, welcome.
Thank you, Sam. My namesake?
Yeah, namesake.
Yes. Thank you very much.
All right. Because of our little time, we always go straight to the point. People have heard of FIA, Financial Intelligence Authority, but they may not be very clear what you do. Let's start with the basic question. What does FIA actually do?
Thank you, Sam. FIA is a government agency which was established in 2014 to combat money laundering and financing of terrorism. For the general public to understand, money laundering usually arises after somebody has committed another crime. And these are what we call predicate offenses. These are crimes, when committed, they generate funds or proceeds which criminals now possess and they want to introduce in the economy. Now, to be able to introduce these funds to the economy, the criminals conceal the true source of this money. They distance the criminal nature of these funds, say that these funds appear legitimate. That's why they call it laundering. They are like washing that money to make it clean. So now, what financial intelligence does is to try and identify these proceeds of crime, such that we are able to trace and freeze such funds, such that we fight crime in the country. Because money laundering is all about distancing criminal money to appear as if it is legitimate money. So people commit so many crimes like corruption, like human trafficking, which is now rampant, tax evasions, they do counterfeiting, wildlife crimes, wildlife trafficking, even drug trafficking. So all these crimes, when committed, the criminals are interested in the money. But now, at that time when he's committing the crime, he's not yet doing money laundering. So money laundering starts at a stage when you introduce these funds into the economy. Now that is when you are laundering. Then financing of terrorism, the terrorists sometimes do not do illegal activities. It could be legitimate money. But the purpose of this money is to fund those actors who want to commit terrorism. So the process through which they conceal the purpose is the same as the launderer is concealing money from a legitimate source. So for them, the monies could be legitimate, but what they want to use it for
is illegitimate.
Is illegitimate, which is terrorism. So they will conceal that. So FIA's main mandate is to ensure that the integrity of Uganda's financial system is good. So we protect the integrity of our financial system by ensuring that criminals do not use the financial system to launder the proceeds of crime or to finance terrorism.
That's very, very clear and very concise. Now, there is a recent process. Banks are asking companies to verify who the actual owners are. It's called beneficial owners identification process. If I have a company, the banks are asking me to bring my actual particulars to confirm I'm the one who is owning the company, which has the account with them. Does that have to do with you, FIA?
Beneficial ownership information is a requirement in the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing. The standard requires that banks must be able to identify who the true owners of companies are, or the true owners who control the accounts which they open. Now, what that requires is that there are people who could be fronts, but not the ultimate owners of these accounts. So what this beneficial ownership requirement requires is that we should have a register at the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, such that if you have a legal entity, which is a company, the information of shareholders is properly documented. You know, sometimes you can be a director of a company when you are not the ultimate controller or beneficial owner of that company. So what we require, if we are to fight money laundering, is to unveil these companies, and we are able to see who are the ultimate beneficial owners of the funds which are generated by these companies, who controls them.
For traceability purposes?
Yes, and to ensure that there are no criminal elements being used by some of these vehicles. Because in the money laundering processes, companies or legal entities are part of the weak ends which criminals use. They open many companies, and then they are able to layer through these proceeds such that they distance their criminal activities from
the funds.
So that's why now banks are required under the know your customer
KYC
or customer due diligence to undertake this beneficial ownership information, to be able to identify who are the true beneficiaries or the ultimate controllers of these accounts.
Very important. And a related question to the banks. It's about people's money, we said. Sometimes I could have money land on my account, a little bit more than I usually get. And the bank gives me a call and says, you come and tell us about this money. Under what circumstance can they do that? And what are my rights? Where do they stop and start?
Yeah, under the fight against money laundering and terrorism financing, there is what we call suspicious transactions. These are transactions which do not reflect your known record. For instance, when you come to open an account with a bank, you may say it is a salary account, it's a business account, you indicate the nature of business, but along your operations, the financial institution or the bank will see transactions which don't match the profile which you indicated to them, or transactions which are way beyond the capacity of such a customer. So those become suspicious transactions. So the bank will flag them out under what they call the transaction monitoring system, which all banks or financial institutions have put in place to have red flags on such transactions. So once such a transaction is identified, then the bank will call you as their client to understand where those sources,
where the money is coming from.
And if you are not able to explain the source, because you know people don't want to explain the criminal element like I was informing you earlier. When you are laundering, you have gotten
you are hiding
and now you are trying to make it clean. So you'll find a way of trying to lie, and when you are lying, that is at the point where your funds will be frozen and FIA is informed, such that now we do our work to
find out where you got the money.
Analyze, and we see where the funds are coming from. So within our operations, we have mechanisms to follow through and see where those funds are coming from. And once we have established that these are criminal funds, then we work with law enforcement agencies, the police. For instance, if they are from criminal activities, then we shall inform the police to undertake further investigations. If it is a corruption case, we shall inform the Inspectorate of Government,
yes,
such that they try to analyze the corruption case. If it's a tax evasion, we shall inform Uganda Revenue Authority about that, such that they are able to collect taxes which you would have. So that is how we work.
Okay.
Once a suspicious transaction has been flagged, so we analyze and then we
inform
produce
the relevant
what we
authorities.
call an intelligence report to the relevant law enforcement agents of government, so that we are now able to fight that crime. It is what we call a chain of social responsibility. It starts from intelligence, then finally investigations, prosecution, and asset freeze or conviction, which is done by court.
Okay.
So when we work collectively with the relevant government agencies, because money laundering, you can't fight it as FIA. Because we fight it together with other law enforcement. Ours is to produce intelligence reports related to the financial crime which has been committed.
Okay. We have 40 seconds. If you can tell us, when can I come to FIA? What kind of problem can bring me to FIA if I want to come?
Yes, FIA is first of all a public institution which was set up by the government of Uganda. So anytime you feel like coming to FIA, you are welcome.
But for what reason?
However, because of the nature of the work we do, we receive information from the public in terms of how money moves.
Yes.
The other issue we do is that when you are moving in and out of the country, the law allows you a certain amount of money. If it is beyond, you declare.
Okay.
So the public is free to give us information on some of these crimes, such that we are able to work together with the police to intercept. Because what fuels crime is money. Now, when you confiscate the money, then that means you are fighting the crime.
You have taken the fire out.
Yes, because some criminals will say, even if they take me to jail, even if it is 5 years,
I'll come back and get my money.
Yes. Then that one will be serving the sentence, but will not fear. So the public can inform us some of, because these crimes happen in the public domain. So at FIA, we are establishing a web portal where the public can be able to share with us some cases of money laundering which is happening in the country, such that we're able to work together with the public. We are supposed to ensure that our country is free from terrorists, so that we take away the money which the terrorists would then use
to destabilize us.
Destabilize the country.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Wandera. I always, when I bring guests here, as we still continue the conversation, the time is up, and our time is up, but I'll bring you back again on these issues. That was Mr. Samuel Wandera, the new Executive Director at the Financial Intelligence Authorities. We again just touched the basics, and I hope you understand now what they do. When the banks call you, what the role they play as a FIA, but also if you have an issue, to go to them and alert them if you are suspicious. That was the link. Thank you for joining us tonight.